Borderlands 4 keeps taking L's. Gearbox is done for, man. Borderlands is a dead IP. I used to be such a big fan of Borderlands. What happened? Apparently Borderlands 4 bans anyone questioning gendered language. What does that even mean? What are these people doing?
Borderlands 4 Steam forums are apparently banning players for daring to question gender ideology and use of gendered language. And my goodness, we must be living in 1984 and not 2025. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT.
Dude, this is stupid. This is absolutely insane. And also hilarious. And now I'm not mad. I'm just here to make fun of them. People think that I'm mad, but you know, I didn't plan on paying $80 for Borderlands 4 anyway. And I think it's going to be a complete disaster. It'll probably be technically a success, but not the success that they need it to be to justify being the biggest Borderlands of all time.
Friend of the channel, Dr. Disaster, has reached out to me with some curious information from a fan that let him know about being banned from the Steam forums for daring to ask a couple questions about if Borderlands 4 planned on using gender ideology and pronouns and...
That sounds to me like 100% that's what they're going to be doing.
Gender ambiguity and all those things that modern gaming seems to not be able to avoid. And of course, Randy Pitchford's company is changing their logo to represent Pride Month.
Dude, they're so cooked. They're so cooked. Them and Halo. I think probably this is going to be a disaster on the level of Halo Infinite, where you're going to get some initial sales, some initial success, and then nobody's going to talk about it.
And potentially pushing this game to $80 or more. And now we have Steam forums banning players for daring to ask questions about a game that, in this case, they love. Well, at least at one point. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down all the information and screenshots that were passed along to me from this player that was apparently banned.
I think not only is Borderlands 4 going to be mid, it's going to be woke, and it's also probably going to be a buggy disaster when it launches.
From the Steam forums for Borderlands 4 for daring to ask questions about a game that they planned on buying, which I guess you could imagine they don't plan on buying anymore. Friend of the channel, Dr. Disaster, tipped me off to something that every Borderlands fan should be raising an eyebrow. And that is if there are any left at this point, because sheesh, and I'll get to that later. But according to a German gamer who shared his experience across several messages, Gearbox appears to be going full woke with how they're approaching Borderlands 4 launch. And now they're apparently banning anyone who dares ask questions about it.
Of course they are. You can't be doing wrong think. You can't be questioning us. You're slipping. You're falling out of line. You can't do that. I'll have your head. That's exactly what they're thinking.
This player, who is clearly a big fan of the series and invested enough to engage in the Steam forums, asked an extremely fair and straightforward innocent question.
Dude, these people are fucking insane. Like, they're living in a different world.
Would Borderlands 4 be using gendered language in the German translation?
Or they think they live in a different world. They think they're living in Harry Potter land full of gay people, though. But really, they live in backwards world, where everything is wrong, and everything right is hated.
Same way as Tiny Tina's Wonderland did, specifically stating, in Tiny Tina's Wonderland, the whole language was gendered. That was horrible. So to my question, will it be here too? And
most definitely. It most definitely is going to be. It's going to have all this woke crap in it. Because they can't stay away from the online culture. And they're also in a bubble. In a left-wing insanity bubble.
If yes, do we get the option for just having normal language without gender speech?
Nope.
Which, honestly, taking a step back, is a very fair and based question to be asking a developer these days is, hey, I want to know what I'm buying. Can you...
No, I'm here for it, actually. They can keep doing what they're doing. Keep crashing out. Let their whole company just go down in flames.
Guys, just let me know what to expect out of this so I can make a decision beforehand and I can understand what it's going to include with it. And yeah, Gearbox was not a big fan of these questions, and I'll get to more of them in a second. But before I do, I got to give additional context for how the German language works because I feel like this is very important here.
Yeah, at this point, people are just like, what are you talking about? We've had all this gender talk for 10 years at this point. It's normal. Get with the times, old man. That's what Gearbox is thinking. That's what a lot of these people think. They're just like, this is 2025. Are we still seriously speaking like this? And I can say the same to you, because you sound retarded.
In German, words like baker have masculine, feminine, and generic forms. But some of these ridiculous recent woke language pushes stemming from Marxism and communistic rootings have tried to force changes like baker innen to represent all genders, similar to how English language activists want to replace mankind with humankind or peoplekind. And yeah, those aren't catching any traction for good reason. And now they're trying to get to other languages and do the same type of stuff. And you gotta ask the question.
Okay. No, do it. I almost said don't do it. No, do it. Call yourself bakers. Anything with an ers at the end of it. I'm telling you, it's gonna turn into a slur. If you start calling yourselves that, we're gonna start calling you that. Do it. I hope they do it. That'd be so crazy, man.
Where is all this coming from? You've had one warning and are banned for 24 hours for continuing to break community rules, and then shared a follow-up saying that they are now banned forever, with the ban reason saying, please do not spam the Steam discussion forums with questions that would lead to comments and discussion that does not follow Steam community guidelines. So now they are blaming him for asking a very valid question in 2025, because this is a thing. As much as these publishers and developers want to ignore the elephant in the room that everyone is talking about when it comes to things that are important when making a buying decision, it's not the person asking the question's fault.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't talk about politics on Steam, in the Steam forums. I mean, you kind of can if it's relevant, which in this case, I think is relevant. Because you don't want people arguing on your forum. So I can kind of get it, but also I know that they're going to have all that stuff in there. So I know exactly why they did it. A company that didn't have all the woke garbage ideology in there, that banned somebody for that, I can see that making sense. Not Borderlands 4, because we know their agenda.
For the fallout that follows because of your initial decisions. But that would require some accountability, which a lot of these wokies, let's be honest, all of these wokies still have no idea how to take any accountability for anything, so is anyone really surprised? Despite trying to go through the official support channels, including 2K support, this particular gamer was told in polite corporate speak that no one could help him. Steam forum discussions apparently are untouchable, and the posts were flagged as spam, even though they were repeated only because Gearbox refused to answer. So let's call this what it really is, a silencing tactic. Just look at how robotic and careless the repetitive reply he received from Gearbox themselves was. From Borderlands support, in response to, my thread was again marked as spam and I think I will be banned again.
I think that Borderlands 4 is gonna just check all the boxes, like all the woke boxes, and it's gonna be super cringe, and I think the gameplay is gonna be boring because it's gonna be bloated. I think the gameplay is gonna be extremely bloated. There's too many things to do. Too many ways to play. There gets to a point where there's just too many mechanics.
Thanks for contacting 2K support. This is Taylor, and I'm a supervisor here. So right off the bat, we got a supervisor. Clearly, this is going to be someone qualified to take this question seriously and fix the problem. I mean, it's a supervisor, right? I understand that one of your recent Steam forum posts was marked as spam, and you're hoping customer support can step in. However, as mentioned in our previous conversation, our Steam team does not have any oversight or authority to influence or reverse decisions made on the Steam forums. Okay, well, what about how the decision got made on the Steam forum in the first place? Alas, As I mentioned in our last conversation, our customer support team does not have any oversight or abilities to influence or change decisions made on or regarding Steam forums.
Bro, it's your forum. What are you talking about? Of course you have authority. That's like the official forum for your game on the platform that you have the game posted on. That's like literally linked to the game when you go to its page.
Which, I didn't just reread the same part. No, that is the same thing. You just copied and pasted twice in this email reply. Nice supervisor so far. If you have any technical issues or account related concerns, I'd be more than happy to assist with those. Alas,
dude, he totally did. Like, whoever wrote this copy pasted twice. That's insane. And it's like, he didn't even copy paste because it's slightly different, but it's literally the same thing. It's like a generated response.
I'm unable to make any changes to your Steam forum account or its content. Thank you for your understanding. Best regards, 2K Taylor. So,
who is 2K Taylor? That sounds made up.
Clearly a very automated bot reply.
True.
Where they just cut and pasted responses over and over into it to fill up the space and didn't give two craps about this person's actual concern. This is how the
That's such garbage, man. Such garbage people. Actually disgusting.
woke machine works. It doesn't debate, it censors.
Like, how do people defend this garbage company in these garbage games? There are people out there who are just like, Borderlands 3 is fine. I'm like, yeah, it is fine. It shouldn't be fine because Borderlands 2 wasn't fine. Borderlands 2 was great, and so was the first one. So what the fuck are you on? What are you talking about? You just like to eat shit? Is that it? You just like to eat shit? Because that's what you're gonna get.
And if this level of sensitivity over a basic, reasonable question is any indication of the direction that Borderlands 4 is going, then fans are in for another ideological lecture disguised as a looter shooter. If asking
Here we go, Dragon Age Veilguard 2.0.
whether forced gender speech will be used in localization of the game is a bannable offense, it's no longer about inclusion. No. It's all about control. In fact, you could argue that this is exactly why these companies keep doing these things. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. Borderlands 4 is cooked. Gearbox as a company is cooked.
Yep, they're just lighting money on fire and being like, see the LGBTQIA plus, I forgot the 2S at the beginning. I'm sorry. Don't have my head. Do you like the game? Do you like the game that I made for you? We said all the words that you like. We said bad things about all the people you don't like. Are you happy? And they're not. They're never happy.
2K Games is screwed, and Take-Two only has Grand Theft Auto 6 right now to currently save them.
Yeah, and how long's that gonna last? Maybe you got GTA 6 online. Maybe that'll do pretty good. Maybe it won't. It's been a long time, man. Maybe people are tired of it. Maybe they got to switch it up. Who knows? Who knows, man? The future's crazy. The suspense is wild.
This game is going to be an absolutely abhorrent disaster of epic proportions.
And it's gonna be mid. I think it is. It's gonna make some money. I think it's gonna make a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe it will be like Dragon Age Veilguard. That'd be crazy.
And I don't think what just happened here is even scratching the surface as
True. I think it gets way worse.
to the insane amount of transgressions that Borderlands 4 and CEO Randy Pitchford have been doing since this game has come to prominence after being announced. This is on top of Gearbox recently coming under fire for once again changing their logo to pride colors and also putting out what amounted to basically malware and spyware for your computer.
True, I made a video about that yesterday. Borderlands 2 is actually spying on you, and it's got overwhelmingly negative reviews of people saying, thanks, Randy.
After updating the EULA in terms of service for Borderlands 2 and making that free, making people who don't do any research or
Yeah, they basically can track you more than the government. And people said that I was lying about this on social media, which is insane. Like, why would I be lying about this? That 2K literally tracks you more than the government does.
don't know any better, thinking that they're getting a free AAA game because, yay, Borderlands 4, let's talk about the other games and get them for free and celebrate it. When in reality, this was an insidious attempt to gain access to people's computers, to scrape through their data and details and try to monetize them better and potentially even sell their information.
Yep. And they may say that they won't do that, but that's just not the plan right now, maybe at least. But somebody will get in and be like, hey, we got all this data. We could sell this. Money, 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 money. Anything to make just any kind of money. Even scraping the bottom of buckets. If there's money there, they'll get it.
And I even talked about this in a live stream the other day, and a lot of people were saying that this is actually pretty commonplace, unfortunately, in PC gaming, where
True.
many EULAs and terms of service are asking for root level access to computers or something along those lines.
Yeah, games that I'm planning on playing offline that make me like accept a EULA, I'm just gonna download a cracked copy of. Because this is bullshit.
Wanting more and more information and ability to scrape and get more details, and players typically are fairly accepting of it unless there's some sort of pushback. And I look at this situation as, hey, if I ever hear a company is going to be needing root level access to scrape, getting multiplayer access, videos, everything that I do in the game, and sending it to their warehouse to
That makes me want to play every game in a virtual machine from now on forever. And if it doesn't work, then I'm getting a cracked copy and I will make it work. If I really want to play your game. And that just means that you're getting less money from me.
Scrape and figure out what to do with me and how to use these things to their own liking. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the biggest fan of that, and I don't want to participate in that. And I'm not really alone on that either. Yeah, that didn't go over well with most PC gamers. And this is on top of Randy Pitchford going on talking about how if you are a true fan of Borderlands, you'll find a way to get your funds together and pay.
Listen, I'm not gonna be listening to a serial gooner. Let's be real. Not listening to Randy Pitchford about anything.
For this game, and he doesn't know how much it's going to cost when someone asks him if it's going to be $80, when all indications are pointing directly at that $80 number, and his apology was just as bad as his initial explanation. Yeah, I'd say at this point, Gearbox and 2K Games and parent company Take-Two Interactive are up a creek without a paddle right now with how they've treated the community, and I don't see a very bright future for Borderlands 4.
Yeah, everybody's always trying to kick off their original audience, the people who originally loved their games, so they can open themselves up to a wider audience, and every time it fails horribly. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but this is like the fourth or fifth game after multiple failures. Like we had We Happy Few, disaster. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, disaster. New Tales from the Borderlands, disaster. Borderlands 3, kind of a success, but for fans, disaster. This one has to it has to be good, or Borderlands is done for.
If they continue going down this road, but I guess time will tell. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link this in the description below. Again, huge shout out to Dr. Disaster for the heads up.
Yeah, Dr. Disaster is awesome. I love that guy. Friend of the channel. I make content with him a lot. He doesn't know about it. Maybe, he might, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not getting Borderlands 4, it's done. I'm out on Borderlands. I won't even be playing their Borderlands copies on Steam. I'm just gonna, crack them open. At least I bought them. At least I have the original copies. I don't think it's that bad if I got those and then I download some cracked copies. That's all I got. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.